Thank you very much, everybody. This is Rocco Passafuime. I'm filling in for Halftime Howie on Broadcasting on the Beach with Halftime Howie this week on AM 1240 WGBB. And the thing I'd like to discuss before we close this evening is I have something very, very important to discuss. It's a key to who I am as a person and to all of us as people. But for me particularly, it's particularly autism, the thing that I have, that I grew up with, born with, discovered I had at the age of 13, and just to really touch base on just how really hard it is to be autistic and the things that I've accomplished and the things that I've been through in my life. It's hard because, you grow up, in a country like this where, so much is expected of you and you're expected to be the best of the best all the time, and you have so many of these expectations. The fact that you have something like this, and you always try to strive as high as you possibly can in this life. It's a little overwhelming sometimes. I remember the first time I ended up realizing I had Asperger Syndrome, the mild form of autism, and I really thought for a good while that where am I going to fit in this world? Because I'd heard stories about people who had this, and I felt like it was hard not to feel lesser than everybody else, feeling like, oh, I'm not as great as everybody, and wondering how I was going to fit into the big, bright blue world that we live in. And I think I've done my best in terms of trying to overcome everything that I've been through. It's still hard sometimes because, it's funny because I never always noticed this, but I'm starting to now as I've been on this program. When I look at the footage every week and I'm uploading these clips, is that I have a tendency to do things that are a little off to people. I don't always look at people. I don't, I kind of can't stand still all the time always because I get very, very nervous. And really the truth of the matter is the fact that, when you're autistic, particularly when you're, a high-functioning autistic myself, you never feel really comfortable in your own skin. You always feel like, you feel like an inverted pyramid. The unusual is the usual, and vice versa. And so it's really hard sometimes, like, to even just go out and to socialize, which I do in the town I live in Long Beach. I go out to places and I try to meet people and I try to be as normal as I can, and it's not always easy because, you sometimes pick up on people that will not always be kind to you, and they will always have this kind of way with you, and will think that, what's wrong with this guy, and why is he acting so weird, and is he this? I mean, I've been called every horrible name in the book. I've been called a homo. I've been called a faggot because everyone thinks I'm gay. It just the onslaught of negativity from people it just never ceases to stagger the imagination for me, really, because I feel just, because people don't realize sometimes that, I am a human being, and it does hurt what people say about me, and people look at me like I'm some sort of caricature for comedy some of the time. I get that vibe, but I feel like, I am a human being, and I do have feelings, and I do feel like when people say these things to me, it really just hurts. And I only say that for myself, but I say that for everybody who's been through what we've been through, because we kind of get lost in the shuffle and fall through the cracks, especially as an adult. I'm grateful that so many people who have what we have the fact that the children of the autism spectrum are able to get the help they need and be treated kindly. But the thing that people don't realize is that once you're an adult, where does that go for all of us? We're still looked upon as like oddballs, and it's very, very hard because we're all people that are trying to make our way in the world. We all want to fall in love, we all want to get married, we all want to leave our marks positively on the world, and but at the same time, I guess the sense is that we all, even us, we fall prey to the cruelty of humanity. We fall prey to people who will deceive us, will lie to us, which I think is even worse than people who, that say these horrible things to you. You know, when you reach a point where you feel like you'd rather have people say these horrible things to you to your face rather than, you know, be straight with you about the, you know, different aspects of life. It really plays a lot with your psyche, and I think that people have to realize that, you know, we're all human beings in this world, and that we all, you know, want the same things in life. We just want to be loved, we want to be appreciated, we want to feel desired in this world. And I mean, it would be the most wonderful thing in the world if we all could have that, you know. I mean, because I feel like I identify with anybody who goes through any of that, whether you're, you know, you're black or you're gay, or whether you have, you know, some sort of difference about you that really makes you feel like you feel set apart from the norm in the world. So I really feel like we need to do better as a society, as a human race, to really start, you know, appreciating us, you know, appreciating all of us as human beings for our differences as well as our strengths. So I thank you very much, and I will see you next week.